One other episode of Jay Leno's Garage. If you've been to this website before, you know we've done about 50 restoration blogs with Neil. He's the publisher of Skinned Knuckles magazine, which is really a magazine specifically for the old car hobby. And it's doing things, I wouldn't say on the cheap. Yes, I would. Doing things on the cheap economically.
Hands-on.
Hands-on, kind of the way the old-time mechanics used to do it. And although we've done all these restoration blogs, everything from spark plugs to working spray guns or painting, whatever, we've never actually talked about the magazine, so I thought we'd do that today. It's called Skinned Knuckles. It's only available by subscription. And it's like having an old guy in your garage, looking over your shoulder.
Nobody's older than me.
That's right. And the magazine's been around since 1976.
1976, we're in our 38th year, Jay.
Right, that's pretty cool. And it's all not overly technical articles, but certainly technical enough so the average home mechanic can follow it.
Absolutely. Well, when the magazine started back in '76, a fellow named Bill Cannon started the magazine. He was of the aerospace industry, and most of our subscribers were as well. They were metallurgists and chemists and engineers, designers, and they wanted technical. They wanted very, very technical. Today's hobbyist is more casual.
Right.
Out of necessity. When you and I were growing up, when we were learning cars, we can go into the corner service station, stand over the mechanic's shoulder and watch him adjust the points.
Right.
No more.
Yeah. Now they call the cops if you stand over their shoulder and watch them do stuff. And you're not supposed to be in this area because our insurance doesn't cover it. There's a whole bunch of reasons.
Oh, yeah. Everything is electronic. Everything is computer. What module do you change? It's a different world. Somebody has to tell young people how to do it. How do you adjust the points? How do you gap a spark plug? How do you do a set of brakes?
And the magazine deals primarily with cars 1950s and earlier. No catalytic converter cars, no computer cars.
Exactly.
Just old cars that maybe if you're a young person, your grandfather or great-grandfather had and is still in your family, and how you keep it running and how do you maintain it. And that's kind of the fun of the old car hobby. There's nothing new or modern in this magazine. And that's good because a lot of times, you know, the knowledge skips a generation. I meet kids all the time who like cars and their dad didn't know how to work a screwdriver. So they have to kind of go back and relearn all this stuff. And it, you know, it doesn't talk over your head. It can get technical, but they always go back to the beginning and explain what it is. And
something else that we do, and I'm very, very insistent on this. When we do a job, we start at the very beginning and we go all the way through the job to the completion. We don't say pull off the brakes, the brake drums. We start with jack up the car, take off the hubcaps, take off the wheel.
Right.
Because if somebody's never done it before, they've got to know these things. And that's an oversimplification, but we've got to start at the beginning and take them all the way through.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, these are guys that want to pass along the knowledge. I know Neil, he's cheap. He doesn't pay very much to do these columns. So consequently, these guys do it because they love the hobby, and they don't want to see it die out, basically. They want to see it be passed down to the next generation. So the cool thing is, it's all here. And all the back issues are available, right?
Right. Matter of fact, Jay, this is a copy of our very, very first issue.
Okay, much like the clothes that Neil and I are wearing, this hasn't changed either. Look, okay, this is the first issue.
We're not quite as faded.
Or is this the first issue? Oh gosh, I don't know. Yeah, nobody does a lot of upgrades here. This is what worked, and by golly, it'll keep working again.
It worked then, it'll work today.
It worked then, it'll work now. So just you get in there and start working on it now. Don't you be reading a stupid magazine. But that's pretty much it, so.
Yep.
And that's the fun thing about it. I've been a subscriber for years and years, and I always learn something. I always learn a lot, because there's a lot of, when you mentioned points, that was always my bugaboo. I don't know why I was always scared of ignition for some reason. The other stuff I can do, so he tells you step by step how to adjust points, or even,
why.
Yeah, and I've seen upgrading to electronic ignition in this magazine too. So you're not totally.
Well, we try to minimize that.
Yeah, try to minimize that.
It. I would prefer to use a mechanical fuel pump to an electric fuel pump.
Right.
I prefer to use a breaker point ignition to electronic ignition.
Yeah.
But there's some things that.
And the reason the magazine is thin, because it isn't filled with advertising. You know, most car magazines you get, it looks like 200 pages, 150 pages. It's really like 45 pages to 50 pages. Yep. Whereas this, it's all information, and it's all really useful.
And the advertisers that we have are all product or service for
Right.
the old car hobby.
Right, right. And plus, there's a lot of interesting stuff. There's a story on Henry Miller. I want to read that one. I just got this issue. A lot of historical stuff. So it's Skinned Knuckles magazine. If you'd like to see this hobby continue, this is pretty much the Bible. You put your hand on this every day before you go work in the garage, and you do it. So you can get it. Well, here's the website.
Online at skinnedknuckles.net.
Yeah, and check it out. I mean, I read it faithfully every month, and it's there's really a lot of knowledgeable things. Everything from steam cars, electric cars, Model Ts, and just everyday Fords and Chevys.
All the way up.
All the way
Everything.
up. So, Neil, thank you
Jay,
very much.
thank you.
Thanks.
Pleasure.